As the sport changed his life, is sharing his story in the hope of inspiring young people. Isaac Chamberlian began training at the age of 11 after his cousin was killed in gang violence. Well, he's now been named Patron of Streatham Youth and Community Trust and will work on projects supporting youngsters in the area. And Isaac joins me now. Thanks very much for being here. Now, your journey began a little over 10 years ago. Can you explain the events that led to you heading to the gym for the first time?
Basically, my mum took me to the gym simply because, you know, she didn't want me getting into gang violence and going down the wrong road where, obviously, my cousin, he just passed his GCSEs. And when he just passed his GCSEs, he obviously was involved in gangs and stuff. Just after passing them, like, he was involved in a scuffle with an other rival gang, and then unfortunately, he got stabbed and killed. And that took a big hit on my family, you know, my auntie and my mum. It was really sad for them. And I was like 11, I didn't know what was going on really. And then she just took me to the gym. She was like, listen, I don't want you going down that wrong route, because where I was growing up, like, we were growing up being surrounded by knives and drugs and stuff. So, you know, I think what my mum done really changed my life. You know, it really changed my life for the better. And because I honestly came from nothing. I don't know how my mum did it, but we literally had nothing, and she made something out of it. You know, she always made sure we had clothes on us, and we had food to eat, you know, and
what was it about the boxing that kept you away from those other forces?
Oh, do you know what it is? It's the coaches. Simply because no one told me that I could be something. No one ever told me that, you know, Isaac, you can be a world champion, you can be something. Even the coaches always say, even if you're crap, they'll always say you can be a world champion, you know, just to boost them. And when I heard those words, I was just like, wow, you know, that's amazing. And it just kept me coming back, because I wanted to hear those words again. You know, it was.
Were you good at it immediately, or did that take some time?
No way. I was getting no like bloody nose. I was getting bruises everywhere. It was just like, you know, I was always coming home like bruised up. And my mum, at some time, my mum was like, Isaac, you gotta stop this. I don't really like your face getting puffy and stuff. But I kept going and I kept committed. That was the main thing. A lot of boxers that came before me were a lot better than me, but they was never committed. But I still stuck at it, because I kind of felt that I had nowhere else to go. After that, I had nowhere else to go if I wasn't boxing. That's why I kept at it. Like, this is my plan A, my only plan A.
Well, you're now supporting the Streatham Youth and Community Trust, and you're a patron of that, and are going to be working with lots and lots of projects that they've got, including helping them get a bigger, I believe, youth facility in that area. But let's talk about your bout that you've got coming up in a couple of weeks' time, I believe. You're undefeated so far. Your last bout, you dislocated your shoulder and still won, making it look pretty easy. But is it? I mean, what do you attribute your success to?
My will to win. You know, the discipline that I put into my training, you know, the discipline that I put into all the aspects of my training and my life. You know, that's the only way you can advance and get to that top level. You know, and when my shoulder dislocated, you know, I was kind of thinking, you know, why me? You know, why does it have to happen to me? But then I was realizing this doesn't have to be the final hurdle, you know, and I'm trying to bring that, like, advise that to all the young kids growing up, that, you know, a little setback is never your final hurdle. You have to keep pushing through, keep soldiering on. And, you know, they can measure your height, they can measure your speed, your power, but there's one thing that they can't measure, and they can't measure what's inside of you. They can't measure your heart, you know, and I think that's what I showed that night. And it breaks them down psychologically, you know. The whole fight changes when it's past the 6th round, where, you know, it starts to get tough in there. You know, you start to get into the trenches. It starts to get really, can I say, you're adjusted to the opponent's power. You've adjusted to his rhythm. That's when a whole different type of game comes into place. The mindset, the mentality, you know. And I felt that because I rehearsed it so many times in my head, I kind of got used to it when it came to the ring. So it's like I brought in a different type of experience myself, you know. And
definitely showing your sticking power. I'm so sorry we've run out of time, but Isaac, pleasure talking to you. All the best with your next bout, I believe on the 17th of March?
17th of March.
Best of luck with that. Thank you very much. Still to come this evening, the story of America's